What started out as a normal day at school did not end that way for one girl.
New at 10, the 11-year-old finally gets the news she's been waiting for, that she's been adopted.
My heart felt like it was just like going to explode, literally going to explode.
A school security camera caught this life-changing moment. An ecstatic 11-year-old, Tana Lynn Butterfield, learning that she's finally being adopted along with her brother and sister.
I didn't know what was going on, and I said, "What?" And she just like squeezing my cheek saying, everything went okay at court, you're getting adopted. She was just like super happy, and she like started like dragging me around the room, kissing my face. It was awesome.
Her school's office manager, Jackie Alexander, is a friend of the family, and she was the bearer of good news. She posted the video to Instagram, writing, "This is pure testament that in a world full of turmoil and strife, there's still light and joy to be found in little everyday moments."
To be able to tell somebody that they get to be a part of a forever family was something I've never done before, and it was a feeling I've never had before.
I just watch it over and over and over. It's like so happy, like the best feeling.
Jen and Jeff Fisher have 2 biological children. Now they're counting the days until Tana, her brother Tegan, and baby sister Tally become official members of the family.
Pretty much, I felt like 5,000 million billion bricks have been lifted off my chest because it's been a long journey. It took a long time, but it was worth it.
They're gonna be mine instead of just playing somebody else's father. Now I get to play the actual role.
I would tell other children that are waiting to get adopted that you will get adopted, you will find good people, and that you will always have someone to love you.
All right, a truly inspirational story there. Current time is 10:20, live in Dublin tonight. No, the rain certainly there in Dublin this afternoon as well. Our current temperature 48 degrees, no wind to speak of there this evening. So as the rain tapers off tonight, let's look ahead to the weekend. That's your next weather maker, and it will be this area of high pressure way up north. But what happens is we become a victim of this northeasterly wind flow, and it's going to tap into some really cold Canadian air and shove it south. And when this happens, it's a weather setup we call the wedge, or you may hear it called cold air damming. And the reason why it's called that, imagine here the Appalachian Mountains, high elevation there, it acts as a dam. So the cold air can't get up and over the mountains, so it's forced or wedged south, and it comes all the way into Georgia. So by Sunday, here's Macon. Notice north of Macon, we're shaded in blue. Those are temperatures in the 40s for afternoon highs. So a big blast of cold weather coming our way this weekend. It's that northeasterly wind flow in the blue arrows, but about 5,000 feet up into the atmosphere, the purple coming in from the southwest. The warm air goes up and over the cold air, so it traps the cold air at the surface, and that's why we stay so cloudy when it's all said and done. So here's what it looks like on your 7-day forecast. Gone is the rain. Tomorrow looks beautiful, up near 70, but then that cold blast settles in for the weekend. Saturday and Sunday will be the coldest back-to-back days since early March. Lows in the 30s, highs barely in the 50s by Sunday. If you're north of Macon, you're in the 40s with some rain expected, but it's short-lived. We're right back in the 70s starting Monday. Your Fish and Game forecast, it's brought to you by Harrison's Body Shop. We're in the good range at 6:20 tomorrow morning and 7:40 tomorrow evening.
Well, we know a Mayhem head coach, Kevin Kerr, is a very smart man. The reigning SPHL Coach of the Year predicted this team would get off to a slow start this year, and boy did they ever. Getting outscored 9-1 on championship weekend, following into an 0-2 hole to start the season. Then he predicted this team would rebound quickly. He's right. Winners of 2 straight, the Blue Sweaters enter a 3-game homestand, now trending in the right direction. Blue Sweaters back in town hosting Evansville. Let's spotlight the rookie goaltender Charlie Finn. First home start looking good here on the power play. Glove save on Justin McDonald early. Scoreless early on, but the Mayhem had trouble clearing pucks out of their own zone, and it came about to bite them. On the turnover, Dave Williams blasts one home on the power play. Thunderbolts grabbing a 1-zip lead, but the Mayhem faithful, they were heckling former Blue Sweater Thomas Scholl in net. That sparks the attack. John Seamer doing work in Gretzky's office. He finds John Gustafson setting up in front, and he beat Scholl like a rented mule. We are tied at 1 midway through the first. Mayhem looking for that lead. It's okay, you can dance. You can dance at this too. Beautiful find. Eric Shanda, Jake Trask, just wide of the net. Kevin Kerr liked the design of that. Not so much the design of this one. Another turnover, this time going to lead to a Donald Oliveri rush, and his wrister's going to beat Finn right there. Evansville grabs a 2-1 lead after 1. Rough night for the Mayhem on the scoreboard. Blue Sweaters fall 4-2, their 3-game point streak over. Mayhem outshoot Evansville by 10. Only 2 goals to show for it. The Blue Sweaters also went to the penalty box 5 times on the evening. Former Mayhem goaltender Thomas Scholl remains unbeaten on the year, recording 34 saves on the night. Now, aside from Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm, no Middle Georgia alum was having a better college football season than Wisconsin's Quintez Cephas, the former Stratford Eagle, in the midst of a breakout sophomore campaign, but that breakout season done for the year. Wisconsin head coach Paul Chryst said Cephas is out the remainder of the season after having surgery on his right leg this week. Cephas sustained an injury in the Badgers' road win at Indiana last week. Wisconsin will host 20th-ranked Iowa Saturday at Camp Randall Stadium, and they're going to do so without their best playmaker on the outside. Cephas leads the Badgers in receiving yards and touchdown receptions. He was also tied for the team lead in receptions this year with 30. Now, with that injury to Cephas, the Badgers are now down their top 2 receivers on the year. Jazz Peavy still recovering from a leg injury of his own. Now, 2 teams Cephas didn't like playing much against in high school. They're going to meet Friday night in our 1st and 10 game of the week. Postseason underway. Titus Moore, the man that's going to take this kick back to the house. He and FPD will play host to Tatnall at Johnson Stadium. Last month, the Vikings ended the Trojans' 17-game regular season winning streak. Now it's a win or go home matchup. WGXA's Rick Devens will have full highlights coming your way on 1st and 10 Friday right here at 10:40 on WGXA News. More pen put to paper Thursday morning as the early signing period continued for high school athletes. Warner Robins Demonettes basketball star Shania Jackson honored her commitment and signed with East Tennessee State. Now, the versatile forward chose the Lady Bucks over schools like Jacksonville and Georgetown. And I'll tell you, she's got the right attitude going forward. Whatever the coach wants her to do, she's going to do. And she's also focused on setting a great example for her hometown.
I can switch positions. I can go from a guard to a post, and I'm blessed that I can do that. So, I mean, if they need to use me at the 3 or the 2 or the 4 or the 5, I can be able to go to those positions and use it. They never left my side to begin with. So, I mean, they bless me, I have to bless them back. That's the reason why I'm trying to be successful in my life, to come back to put back into my community.
Now, if you want to see something really great, go check out our full signing day speech over on our website, WGXA.tv. One of the best and most humble women I have ever met. Plenty more coming up in our second half of sports. Who's the big brother when it comes to the Deep South's oldest rivalry? I'll have more on that. For now, let's send it over to Raymond and Amir at the desk.
Thanks, Luke. From Allman Brothers posters to Wet Willie albums, the local artist with Southern rock roots is bringing back an iconic downtown mural.
Michael Pierce's inspiration and the part his latest effort plays in bringing back Macon's Capricorn Studios. Tonight, part of Macon's music past is getting a facelift. A famous mural is going back up on the walls of Macon's Capricorn Studios. I spoke to the man who is part of the effort to tie in rebirth and rebuilding with the past.
I would have figured that it would have fallen off the building by now.
This mural started as an Earth Day project back in 1996, an effort by artist Michael Pierce.
This is my sidekick, Johnny Moe.
And some friends to try to spruce up the old building and lot.
I was here day and night, and we had a group of people that was cleaning up this lot because it was real trashed out and stuff. And we built a fire pit. It's in the shape of a turtle, and you know, we had that burning and fainting. It was fun.
21 years later, that early effort aimed at someday giving the old Capricorn Recording Studios new life is finally taking shape.
You know, if it wasn't for somebody putting some money into it, it just might as well fall on in, you know. And, you know, it's going to be a unique spot in Macon.
The studio, once home to Southern rock royalty like the Allman Brothers, is set to become a music and art center for Mercer University. Brand new lofts now surround it, ensuring new life for a once near blighted area.
this is a story, you know. And I'm telling it again, and it's got a little more inflection here and, you know, stuff going on.
A description of the mural that fits the entire block. And like this building, Pierce's roots run deep in Macon and in Southern Rock. A journey that took him to art school in Atlanta and new music friends in South Carolina before eventually leading back to Macon.
In 1972, they signed a contract with Capricorn, and they became the Marshall Tucker Band. And so when they came in here and started recording, I came in here with them and hung out while they were recording and stuff, you know. And then later on, I became friends with Jimmy Hall and Grinder Switch and, you know, the people, the brothers, J-Mo, all that, you know. So there's a lot of history in this building, a lot of people connected to it, you know.
Now, with the blessing of the developer of the loft, the iconic mural is coming back to life. A new direction, with a nod to the past, all from a man who lived part of Macon's Southern Rock history.
You know, it's tribal, it's you know, terrestrial, it's, you know, it's out there.
There will be about 125 lofts around the old Capricorn Studios. Mercer University is working to raise more than $1 million to renovate the old studios to create a music incubator for groups and performers.
New at 10, the final defense bill would require funding needed for the J-Stars at Robins Air Force Base. A Senate amendment now makes the Secretary of Defense let Congress know if the Air Force makes a budget request to cancel or modify the recapitalization program. The House plan did not do that. Georgia U.S. Senator David Perdue says in part the J-Stars fleet is our eye in the sky and our nation's premier battle management, command and control asset used in theater today. We're just a couple of days from Veterans Day, but schools across Middle Georgia are celebrating our servicemen and women early. Today, Rutland High School's ROTC program and students honored veterans and the Marine Corps' birthday. There were guest speakers on hand, as well as student cadets who shared their military experience. Rutland's commanding officer, Christopher Poole, tells us he doesn't want our vets to feel forgotten.
I think it's just so important just so that way the veterans or people in the military themselves, they won't feel like they're being forgotten about. They're being recognized for what they're doing because what they're doing is a sacrifice.
Poole is a senior at Rutland and says he enjoys being part of the ROTC and leading by example.
President Donald Trump wants to shore up the U.S. military nuclear program.
The massive price tag and the issues Congress must address first to keep you safe. That's next at 10.